And now, live from the Neverland Theatre, your host, Gary Starr. Hello, a very good evening to you. Welcome to Stage2Stream.tv, live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. Welcome to everybody who's joined us this evening. Hope you've had a great day, and welcome back to another edition. We've got a cracking night ahead of you this evening. Loads of fun guests, and of course, some banter with Right Hand Ruthie. But before all of that, what we need you to do is get social. If you've not already done it, I see some of you already have, but share this stream, share it far and wide. Let's get more people talking, let's get more people interactive. And also, give us some little interactions like a thumbs up in the chat or a love heart or anything like that. We'd love to see that you are out there. Hope you've had a good day. Let's find out who's on the show tonight. Live tonight on Stage to Stream TV, Nigel, Harvey, and Thom. All here on. Yes, an exciting evening this evening. So we're going to be talking to our first guest in around about 10 minutes' time. But before all of that, yes, you know what you're waiting for. We're all waiting for it. It's Right Hand Ruthie.
Right Hand Ruthie, Right Hand Ruthie.
Right Hand Ruthie.
Yeah.
Hello, Ruthie. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yes, very good, thank you. How's your day been?
It's been all right.
Yeah, what have you been up to? Tell us all the exciting things that you have been doing today.
Well, I was doing my usual stuff, you know, the usual bits and bobs. But tell you what I have been doing. Well, actually, not what I've been doing, what I've witnessed. Is that the right thing? I don't know.
Is it a word that you're looking for? Have you witnessed it? What have you done?
Well, no,
Tell us.
I probably should explain it, really, shouldn't I? You know when Facebook pops up your memories and it says what you were doing?
Yeah.
That's happened a lot today. Apparently, I was busy last year.
Well, yeah, because, mine did the same, because I think we got Falcor round about this time last year.
That's what mine said, yeah.
Yeah. 1 year with us.
Yeah.
It's
And
exciting.
also, it popped up to tell us about, what did we go and see? It was Back to the Future, the musical.
Which I have to
Last
say is without a doubt the best thing I've ever seen on stage.
Very good.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah,
So
very
good.
Yeah.
But that was last year.
I know, crazy, isn't it? Well, I think we watched Back to the Future on the Saturday night. I think that's how it worked. And then, because I bought tickets for the premiere
On Thursday.
on Thursday and forgot, and then realised on Saturday that we'd missed the premiere. So luckily bought tickets for the Saturday night, and we went and saw it.
We did.
Good planning, Carrie. Well done, me. Yeah, that happened. And then when we got back on the Sunday, we picked up Falcor, who's been with us for a year, and he's amazing, bless him.
And he wrote tonight's poem.
Did he?
Yeah.
With his paws.
Took him all day.
That's good. What's going on in Social Media Corner this evening, Ruth? I see it's going crazy tonight.
Well, guess who's popped in to say hi?
Who's popped in to say hi?
Nigel Beaver.
No way.
Yes.
Nigel Peaver, how the devil are you, my
Hi,
friend?
Nigel.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Yeah. He said there's a lot of Nigels in the thing.
That's very true.
Yeah, true. Nigel, great to see you. Nigel, we worked together many, many years ago. I can't even remember what it was. Right back then, wasn't it? But lovely to see you. I hope your voiceover work's going really well. Nigel does like loads of voices for, he does audiobooks like non-stop. It's insane. Hope that's going well for you, my friend. Good. Who else is in Social Media Corner? I see we've got Adam Fielding there.
Well, he's actually said that you're both on thrones right now.
Yeah, you know what that means, don't you?
I
I'm
worked
on a
it
real
out.
one.
Took a while.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that
He's
there.
literally there right now. But that's probably the best place to watch this show.
Why?
It's something to do, innit?
Oh.
Yeah. Who else we got out there?
Beverly's here. Hi, Beverly Charles.
Hello.
And who else have we got? We've got
Sam Rabone.
Oh, he beat me to it, didn't you?
I've seen it pop up. Yeah. Hello.
But that's it so far, I think. Let me have a little scroll, make sure I've not missed. Oh no, we've got Andrew Merrills plus Becky. They're both here as well.
And Yvette's out there watching.
Aww.
And of course, hello to all our viewers out there, whichever platform you're watching on. If you're watching on the main Stage to Stream page, then hello. If you're on my page,
Get off it.
get off that and come to this one, because very soon we're going to cancel those down and not stream everywhere. We're going to bring everybody to one place over time, because at the moment we're on Twitch, We're on YouTube. We're on several Facebook pages and the website, and we're just everywhere. So, yes, we're going to do that. What do they need to do if they want to get in touch with you tonight, Ruthie?
Well, there's a range of things you can do. So
There
hop
is.
on into the chat. But remember, the chat on stagethestream.tv on Facebook, not the other chats. Although, will it show up? I don't know. No, it won't. Hop onto the main one. Come in there, because that's where all the fun's happening. Give me a wave. Tell me where you're from. What should we do today? Send me your... Let's do emojis again. Let's do that. Send me your favourite emoji.
Yeah, nice. And also a thumbs up.
And a thumbs up, that'd be nice. Make sure you share it. Alternatively, you can send a message in via my inbox, or you can send me a text or a WhatsApp. And the number is here.
The number is, I've confused myself now, 07510 891 005. And I'll be very happy when James has done me the new jingles.
I think we all will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing some wonderful new jingles for the not only this show, but also the radio show, which we're going to be streaming from probably next week, maybe. We're just waiting on various bits to come together, but we will have 24 hours a day a sort of theatrical radio station. So it plays musical theatre, it plays, we can have plays, we can do audio plays, we can do literally anything, and it will be free to listen to. So that's exciting. We're launching that possibly next week some point, but there's a lot going on, isn't there? So yeah, we'll get there. It's all good. What you got, Ruthie, over there? Anybody exciting?
Well, everyone's popping in to say hi.
I know, I've seen that. Loads of faces popping up. Steve Orchard, Ben Wainwright, hello. Loads of people. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
so if you haven't already, just literally just type hi.
And that also happens just above Road's head. Look, a new like from Steve Orchard. There you go. So if you do stuff now, it will literally, it'll literally pop up, and it'll pop up above my head this side as well. If you do it now while we're talking,
Do it right now.
Yeah, if you share this stream, it'll pop up here.
Oh yeah, that's new.
Somebody will prove it. I know, and it's in neon. Somebody will prove it to me now. Look, by sharing or liking or doing something, which it'll pop up there. I think it does pop up.
We should do a competition. Whoever is first to do it
Okay.
wins something.
First to share and pop up here.
What they're going to win though?
I don't know. So Adam
Hi,
Fielding
Kelly.
sending some great emojis. I think linked to what he's doing right now. Adam Fielding has dusted off his USB mic. Now this is exciting, right? I'm gonna tell you about this because this is quite exciting. With the radio that we are setting up, we are able to have external people, so you can actually do your show. New share. Morgan, my boy did it. Yeah.
Has he won?
Yeah, Morgan
Yay.
did it. Yeah, well done, Morgan. Boom.
Put your
Yes.
prize in the post.
Yeah, we'll pop your prize in the post. What should we give him?
Chicken nuggets.
We'll send you some chicken nuggets in the post, which I think you'll probably appreciate right now. True story. Hello, Morgan. Hope you're well. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So on the radio show, we've set up a facility that you can actually do a radio show from your own home. And we give you access, so you take over the station and do your hour or 2 hour show, whatever you want to do. And that is really exciting because it means we can open this up to anybody around the world who wants to get involved, which is equally exciting.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I think this is good fun. Hello to Kelly Rogan. Hello, hope you're well. Not seen you for ages. So that's exciting. I just went on a tangent there because Adam Fielding said he's dusted off his USB mic,
That's
which
exciting.
could be a euphemism. I don't know. But either way, suitable for radio. Yeah. So, Ruth, hello.
Hi.
Your hair looks nice tonight.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh,
You boofed it.
I did.
Is
Yeah.
that a word?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Bit of back comb, bit of root boost.
Yeah. Bit of root boost
Yeah.
for your moon face.
Well, it's because it kept falling down yesterday. It was really annoying me.
Well,
So I've stuck it up.
You've
Do
stuck
you know
it
what?
up well, yeah.
I always used to use like really cheap hairspray.
Right.
Um.
Well, don't do that.
Well,
Don't
no.
use cheap hairspray because use the great stuff like I do, and you look this good.
Well, I used yours actually, which is why it
Exactly.
now won't move.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I always used to use the really cheap stuff. 'cause-
Yeah, don't do that. It's waste time.
Anyway.
It's false economy,
Wow.
apparently. Wow. So, yeah, good. So if they want to get in touch with you, you can, of course, WhatsApp text. The number is there right now. And you can jump on the chat right now. There's loads of people chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Rabone has said, ready for my radio show. Amazing. Yeah, we can do it. We can make it happen. We can make dreams come true here on Station Stream with, anybody that's interested in doing that. It's all good. Yeah, Nigel Peever said, buy cheap, you buy twice.
Well, it's only because... Well, when I say cheap, it's still, 50p, that's all right, isn't it?
No, listen, this is
But it doesn't move when you use it.
This
It's
is
like spraying cement on your hair.
Absolutely fascinating banter, Ruth, and one I'm so glad that we started with. We'll continue to talk about hairspray with Nigel Harvey very shortly indeed.
He uses a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Very hairy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I meant,
go on.
Well, all I was going to say was that in my years, I've always used the cheap stuff and it's never moved because it's like, really rock hard stuff until I've used your one. Extra hard.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
That's what you get with me. Good hairspray.
Yeah.
And a good beard.
Well.
I don't spray this anymore. I don't need to. It just hangs. Good. Well, that was top banter, Ruth. More of that later.
Great.
Thanks. Is that all you got to say?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah? Okay, so if you want to chat to Ruth, jump on the chat right now. As we said, make sure you jump over to stationstream.tv, the Facebook page itself. If you haven't yet liked it or indeed followed it, then do so now. I think we're around about 1,100 now, people following. We need to get to 10,000 by August. This is the plan. So share far and wide. Yeah. Okay, it's almost time for our first guest this evening. Very exciting indeed. But before that, we're going to go back a few years and see him in action. This is Naughty Nigel Harvey.
Well, listen, Sots, tonight I've come here because I'm going to do something that I've never done before. Make somebody laugh. Andrew Lloyd Webber has rewritten one of his musicals for Jane McDonald. It's about her career. It's called Superstar. Jesus Christ. Right, we're gonna now. All right. Chicken nuggets. What part of the chicken are its nugget? Never mind. You have got the brains of an idiot. Do you want them back?
I don't want to do it.
I decided tonight I am going to do something on my own.
Oh, kinky.
What's your name?
Luke.
It's what?
Luke.
I don't ask him how old he is, he might get a split knife out. Don't move. And don't talk. I wouldn't do that. Nobody knows where my Johnny has gone. Stop it. Do you know what they call a dog with no nose?
Joe.
Daniela Westbrook.
I love Paul, loves me, Tinky Winky hit Ditsy with a baseball bat right around his head. Sorry, Lala, Ditsy's dead.
Have you got a girlfriend?
No.
No. Look. Do you fancy her? Way, hey, the lads! Isn't he rude? Saying things like that in the middle of the show, honestly.
I want to go for a wee.
Well, so do I. Ah! What we got for the kids? We got the Tweenies, the Thimbles, Digimon, Pokemon.
Poco's mum.
Pokemon.
Oh, sorry. That was my idea.
Kelly, you're going to be a little cow. I have got Another one. Crikey. Yeah, it's a packet of 3. It is not. I notice you've not used any. Shut your face! That's it. I'm not going to give you one. Is that what she said?
The kids didn't get it. Ha, 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 ha.
There, hero. There, everywhere. With her. You better swallow that, Steve. Oh, look. What a bouncing buggy. Will you be quiet? Pick it, lick it, roll it, and flick it.
Gobble, gobble.
Here and now.
Gobble, gobble.
There, here.
Gobble,
There.
gobble.
Everywhere.
Gobble, gobble.
You've done that before, haven't you?
How do you make a door laugh?
I've no idea then. How do you make a door laugh?
You tickle its knob.
That's enough! Dogs can't sing, can they? Dogs can't sing, can they? What about the Spice Girls?
You don't get this on Sesame Street, do you?
What's the difference between light and hard?
You can sleep with the light on.
Yes, indeed. Nigel Harvey, how the devil are you, my friend?
I'm marvellous, thank you. Oh, watching that back is just a nightmare. I mean, is it any wonder that I don't do that show anymore? Because everybody be so outraged by it all. But
Well-
when I was doing that show, everybody was on holiday to have a laugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness, it wasn't you. It was it was Ben and Socks, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
This is it. And I loved doing that act because it usually went on about 9:30, 9:45.
Yeah.
So you were past the watershed. So there was a joke for kids, and then there was one for grown-ups, one for kids, one for grown-ups. But now doing some of those jokes would be far too upsetting. But when I did that act, it's of its era. It
when was
made
it?
people laugh because people weren't so sensitive about everything,
absolutely. How long ago was it that you did that? Because I was trying to rack my brains as to when we first met, and it's got to be like probably 96, 97 sort of time. Way back.
Well, that show was recorded. I wanted to record it for the archive more than anything.
Yeah.
But I had to record it twice because I recorded it once at one of where was the venue? What was the venue called in Bridlington?
What, the holiday park? Or
Yeah.
So you had Thornwick.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I did was, because I always absolutely stormed it there. It was a lovely room. They always were pleased to see me. I thought, I'll get the cameras in to record it there. And, so you get an idea of a proper live performance. And I went on, and the entire audience ignored me for what was an hour. I mean, it was a nightmare. And while I'm doing it, I'm thinking, why are you doing this? It was awful. It was silent throughout. So then we had to go back into it and put canned laughter on, and it was bloody awful. But in those days, because it took them so long to pay you, you needed to sell merchandise. So you had money for petrol and
Yeah, I
to
remember
eat
that well.
food and stuff like that. So I did it on DVD, and when I'd made enough money back, I recorded it again at the Lamp Room in Barnsley, and it was a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So if I did something wrong or said something wrong, we went over and did it again.
Yeah.
You know, and and I'm glad I spent. It was a lot of money at the time, but considering it's nearly 13, 14 years ago, it still looks good quality.
Yeah.
You know, so it's great that I've got that to show people. But yeah, there we are. I mean, we've known each other forever.
It's got to be, you know, back then. I mean, I did Thom, but that was like 96, 97, something like that. So yeah, that was a long time ago. But then beyond that, as well, it would have been something probably through Ian Sandy, no doubt, or you know.
Yeah, because the first holiday parks that I did was sort of Primrose Valley.
Yeah. I think that's probably where I would have met you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Primrose Valley because I can remember this very tall, very skinny,
inexperienced. That's my first year. My first year, I think I did DJing, and that was it. And Spotlight for the shows. That was my first year, but I loved it. Yeah. But that's where I would have seen you. Yeah, because that's where all the cabarets came. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Happy days. I mean, my favourite time of performing on the holiday camps was when, before it was run more like a business, it was more about let's give people the best holidays we can, rather than what's the most amount of money we can get out of the punters.
Yeah.
So everything was about the show, it was about the product, you know, whereas to the latter end of me doing holiday parks, I'd turn up to a holiday park and the gift shop was better lit than the stage.
Yeah.
You know, which was such a shame. But I loved it before they started selling the vans. As soon as they started selling the vans, that stopped cabarets like myself, because we used to do a fortnight circuit.
Yeah.
So we'd do the same venues every 2 weeks, and build up friendships, and really, really long-lasting friendships. I mean, we've been mates for years.
Yeah.
I'm fairly much friends with virtually everybody, every Haven mate or every Blue Coat or whatever. Still, you know, from those early days. I mean, I used to crash on bands' sofas, and you know, it was a time that we had so much fun doing it. But then when you started getting owners, you didn't want to see the same act every 2 weeks, so then you had to travel round and round and round, and that sort of took some of the fun out of it, I think. Because you know, if you were doing a fortnight circuit, the next park might only be a couple of miles up the road, so whoever's day off it was, you take them for a bite to eat, and you know, it was where great friendships were cemented. And I sort of feel sorry for people that are doing it now, because of course you're still making friendships, but because you're not seeing those people that often, you know, it's I was very lucky to do it at the time I did.
Yeah, I think speaking to a lot of acts that, you know, sort of did that time, and, you know, that's how I sort of learned everything I'd learned, you know, was that sort of time. It was the right time to do it. And you're right, you know, it did kind of change after that. That's why I sort of lost the love for it and, you know, moved away from it, because it became so impersonal. It was all about making money for the company, and, you know, and you know, it kind of lost the the magic that it had, you know, and also, you know, cabaret at its time, when, you know, like, you know, when we first met, cabaret was so revered. That was the thing you aspired to be. You know, you either became entertainment's manager, or you were, if you were really talented, you went out to become a cabaret. But then it almost seemed like, whether it was the karaoke nation or what, I don't know, that kind of made it that, you know, you can just do it. You don't have to be good, and you know, and you didn't have to work for it. You just, you know. So then cabarets almost became sort of less revered, which was a real shame, you know, in the time. So
yeah, I mean, I remember I decided that I was going to stop doing it the year before, because, just for instance, don't get me wrong, I actually think the shows that they're doing now and the production quality and everything, it's gone full circle. I think we've got the holiday parks are really, really trying to pull the stops out, and the entertainment, you know, there's some class cabaret acts out there. But I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, well, so much for live streaming. I could edit that.
Yeah, we'll cut that out. It's fine. No, I think, you know, when you look at it, the entertainment now, you know, you're right. You know, especially when you look at the big parks and that sort of stuff. It's you know, they've created this, you know, this sort of massive sort of industry now, you know, and brought a lot of those acts, you know, within their shows, and you know, and really built it up. It was just, I think, you know, the time you sort of left was the time I sort of started to lose the love for it a little bit as well, you know, of just seeing the changes, because there were big corporations coming in and buying these parks, and it just became a little bit less personal. So yeah, it's a strange one. So when you packed up, you know, sort of doing the cabaret circuit, where did you move to then?
Right. Well, it was sort of planned, because when I was sort of 13, 14, I did something at a school called Technical and Vocational Education Initiative.
Nice.
That's a mouthful for you. Which meant that half of a day of the week you'd go outside of the secondary school and do something else. And I studied drama at the Electric Theatre Studios in Barnsley, which was really bloody fantastic. I mean, the quality of work produced by the Electric Theatre, and I actually wanted to be an actor. So I was in quite a lot of productions. I absolutely loved it. And I liked the idea of, rather than making people laugh and happy, it was nice to make people think.
Yeah.
So I auditioned for Lambda and RADA. I got recalled. I also, Bretton Hall, I wanted to go to. And I got rejections from all of them, and they all said, take a year out and come back. Well, of course, that's when I had to make that decision. Well, I need to earn money. So I started doing the ventriloquism on the holiday parks. But before that, I was a children's entertainer with a fantastic pro in the business. A guy called Colin Robbins. Now, he'd been an international act with his wife, Angie Dean. And I was 12 years old, and I'd appeared on Saturday Superstore, Search for a Star. And there'd been a piece in the paper about Colin and Angie because she'd got rheumatoid arthritis, so she was having to give up the business. And Colin Robbins sort of became my coach and mentor. And he started teaching me the craft of comedy, you know, how to time a gag, how to, you know, even things like how to take a bow, how to, you know, and to help me, we formed a double act, and he was called King Lollipop.
Right.
And I was the dandelion kid. Now, I don't know where the dandelion kid came in. But he accidentally one day called me Naughty Nigel. And we thought, oh, that fits. Yeah, let's. So basically, we were doing a panto slapstick show for kids.
Yeah.
And then he said one year, said, right, you're now ready to go on your own. He said, but we're doing pantomime together, because he was sort of like my manager.
Yeah.
He actually ended up being my showbiz dad. I mean, he was terrific. And he basically said to this pantomime company, if you want me to play Dame, you've got to have Nigel on. Otherwise, I'm not doing it.
Amazing.
And that was my break into pantomime. And myself and Ben, who was the boy with the yellow hair, we were Chinese policemen, and Socks was the police dog. I met one of my best friends who directed it, Ian Thomas, also known as Ian Jackson for anybody out there, for Trafford and Parnell Productions. The year after that, I was an ugly sister, and he was the other ugly sister. And so, you know, I needed to earn money.
Yeah.
And I did search for a star at Bridlington Spa Theatre.
Amazing place.
And one of the judges was Ian Sandy.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful man.
And because of Ian Sandy, he shaped my career for years, because it was just wonderful. He said, you know, let's give you a few gigs at Primrose. I went to Primrose and absolutely died on my arse, because I was playing it straight. I was wearing a suit. I was very sophisticated. I was and thought, actually, I need to do the kids act, but sort of beef it up. So for many years, I looked like a kids act. I had shorts and a red cap.
Yeah.
And I was called Naughty Nigel Harvey, because I didn't just do Ben and Socks. You know, I got kids up and did routines with them. And then I realized that because I looked like a kids entertainer, some of the audience weren't giving me the time of day, because I went, oh, kids entertainer, switch off, and they wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
So I sort of adapted it to just being a red crushed velvet suit. And then because I was wearing a suit, adults listened.
Yeah.
And the clever ones got the joke instantly that I was almost doing a parody of a kids act, because some of the jokes I was doing were so naughty, really.
But you had to, didn't you? You know, you had to sort of, you know, to keep them all involved. And like you say, when you're playing to an audience, especially at Primrose, where it was, you know, 1,500, 2,000 people every night, you've got to have something, like you say, that got hold of them.
Yeah. So when I decided that this was no longer for me, and it was actually, I was at a holiday park on the south coast. I shan't mention it. Romney Sands. But I don't know. I did Romney Sands for a couple of years, and I hope I'm not upsetting anybody too much here, but I was in the dressing room. I heard it's cabaret time. I wasn't ready. I put the music on. I just got to the stage, bang on time. Nobody opened the curtains, and there were no lights on. And all of a sudden I thought, nobody gives a stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you've got this music playing, nothing's happening on the stage. The person in the DJ box hasn't noticed anything's wrong. Nobody's noticed anything wrong. And I had to walk backstage into the dressing room. And they said, what are you doing back here? I said, well, because, you know, and that really, 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 it made me feel rubbish.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? I don't I don't want to do this anymore. And then all of a sudden, I thought to myself, well, hang on a minute. Didn't you want to be an actor? And so I thought, right, next year, I'm going to be an actor. I don't care. I'm not doing any more. I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I told all the agents, no, that's it. I'm calling it a day. And they'd be like, oh, you'll be back, you know. And I said, I won't. I've had enough.
Yeah.
And you know, there were other ventriloquists coming up that were. I got very lazy. The act stayed the same, and it needed a lot of money spending on script writers, or it needed new characters and things like that. And I thought, no, I think I'll pull the plug on it. And I thought, I've got enough money to take a year off. So if being an actor doesn't work, I'll just do something else completely different. Then things sort of like went from bad to worse, because all of a sudden my pantomime was cancelled, and through no fault of anybody's, it just fell through. So I ended up with an empty diary around my best mate, who's no longer with us, bless him, Jem Fraser, or Mr. Topper, some of you might know. And he said, I can give you a few gigs helping out Santa for a few days, if that'll help. And then I thought, okay, I'll do that. So I did that. And also James Brandon, who I know from my Electric Theatre days, he said, do you fancy doing Dame? So what I did was I did Dame, and then on the weekends I did, you know, I helped Santa out.
Yeah.
And then while I was doing the Santa thing, I realized that it was a very important role. You know, some people don't realize it's more than just ho, ho, ho. There's a whole belief thing. So you've got to get it right. And I was getting quite a terrific response. So not trying to spoil it too much, but if anybody out there puts celebrity Santa into Google, well, who knows what you might find. Yes, but let's just call this my Christmas room, because I love Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah.
Not that we've both got massive egos and we both need to sit on a throne.
Mine is bigger though, so
it is, but mine is golden.
That's true. Yeah, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? You know, mine's left over from a job, and I thought, why put it in storage? I'm going to sit on that, and I'm sure, you know, looking after Santa in the way that you do, you know, he obviously lets you, you know, sit in his throne while he's not there. So, you know, we're all winning.
Well, yes, exactly.
We're all winning. Right, we're going to go to Ruthie, because it's flown tonight. We've only got about 5 minutes left. So we're going to go to Ruthie. Hello, Ruthie. Hello. Are you all right? Sorry, there we go. Turn you on.
Hello.
Okay, there we are.
Hello, Ruthie.
Hi, Nigel. How are you?
I'm really good.
Oh, it's been so long.
I know. That's what you usually say to me.
Oh, there he is.
Yes. I don't get any better. I'm sorry.
I think you said that to me last time I saw you as well. Anyway, right, let's get on with these questions, because we're running out of time. Oh no. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of questions. There's lots of people popping in and saying hello. We've got lots of love out there for your little reel we had on there as well. Steve Hewlett's popped in the chat. He said, "Naughty Nigel. One of the funniest on the circuit, and friends with the first class Santa, a grafter. As thanks to Keith Harris, he and I are puppeteers."
It is.
It's nice to see you.
The master, Keith Harris.
There you go. That's not really a question. That was just something I thought I'd pick up on. Let's go with the questions. Okay, so Adam Fielding has asked, what advice do you have for multi-talented performers with a plethora of routes to go down? Would you say maybe to explore them all, or just sort of focus on one?
Do you know, I think do a bit of everything. It's quite interesting that that Adam's mentioned this. It was actually Keith Harris, who I met many times and became very good friends with. Because, I mean, let's make no bones about it, I was heavily influenced by Keith, and he knew it. And he was very generous and he was just lovely, terrific guy. But his advice to me, because I met him when I was 10, I did a little impression of Orville and everything. And he said to me, he said, if you want to be a ventriloquist, do it. He said, but he said, you need to learn how to sing a little bit, dance a little bit, just do a little bit of everything. He said, because it will open more doors to you.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get what he meant until I saw him in pantomime, and he was doing dance routines, he was singing songs, he was an all-rounder. I mean, he excelled at ventriloquism, but he absolutely sparkled like a light bulb on stage. Sorry. Gosh. I just miss him a lot.
Yeah, he was wonderful and such an amazing talent. And it's, one thing, that we find with all these things is that, people that pass this on, do you know what I mean? That pass this, because it kind of almost became that sort of forgotten skill, but the fact that people were willing and still are, Steve's an absolute legend as well, and he still teaches people and and talks to people and does all that side of it. So it's amazing that people still do that, and especially the old school as well that are out there that pass on that knowledge. It's
I mean, Steve's been a mate for years, and we did follow each other when we were doing the fortnight. He'd do one week and I'd do the other.
Yeah.
But I mean, ventriloquists now, I mean, Max Fulham is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think I started seeing him when he was like probably 14, 15, and he was doing live videos, and I was like, wow, he's gonna go. And
but he's so inventive, which is something that I never was, and I just watch his comedy shows because he does comedy. Yeah, he's a ventriloquist, but he's a comedian. He's just naturally very, very funny and very talented, and good on him. It's great that he's getting known without having to do Britain's Got Talent, which seems to be the only way you can get your face up there, unless you go the alternative Edinburgh festival route. So I'm really chuffed for him.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, and it's great to see so many people that still help each other out, and like you do now, you'll come on and give people advice, and and I think that's important, especially in this time, where people are wanting to learn new skills, and it's great that people are willing to take that time and sort of pass that knowledge on and go, even if you're not doing it anymore, do you know what I mean? To sort of hand that mantle over, and it's great to see.
Yes. What's also really good is because I'm mates with so many cabarets. There's terrific cabarets doing the circuit with me. There was Zach Bowman, there was Paul Eastwood. Now I've been lucky enough to go on cruise ships with Paul as his guest. Yeah, and seeing someone like Paul that learnt his craft in the holiday parks get a standing ovation on a cruise ship, and I'm there as his guest, and I'm proud of him. It's just brilliant. And I think you find in this business, people have always said to me, it's a backbiting, bitchy business, and yet there are a couple of people like that, but a majority of people that I've worked with have been terrific. Yeah. Lovely people, very generous, and, great company. I mean, I know you've got Nigel Peaver and Sam Raybone on this. I did pantomime with them, and it was an absolute joy going to work. Yeah. And I've done some of my best comedy in pantomime with with those two people. So
it's incredible, and it's been an absolute pleasure. We've run out of time. This is what
Sorry.
I said. No, I did tell you. I said this goes so quick. Everybody says it's too short. But we must chat more again soon. Maybe we can also chat to your friend. At some point as well in the future, and have a little a chat as well. But it's been
apologies about tearing up.
No, at the end of the day, I think it's it shows the passion that we still have for this industry, and the people out there, and it's great that people share that, and it's wonderful to see. It's good to see people with actually emotions nowadays, even though we're on Zoom.
Yes,
it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much.
And to you, mate.
You take care, and we'll speak again soon, ladies and gentlemen. Nigel Harvey.
Lots of love to you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Something magical is coming this Easter. Live on Stage to Stream, our brand new online panto, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Join Dorothy Gale, the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow in a brand new online magical adventure. Live this Easter at www.stagetostream.tv. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, live online this Easter. For more information, visit our website at www.stagetostream.tv. Yes, indeed. I was waiting for my jingle there, but it didn't play. That was good, though. Really good interview, that, and lovely speaking to Nigel Harvey there. We must get him back and chat more soon. There's so much more. We've only touched on right at the beginning of his career, but so much to talk about. How are you, Ruthie, over there in social media?
Good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, great.
Good. Yeah. And how's chat going? It's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, so much love for Nigel. Everyone loves Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel was an amazing actor, and I remember seeing him right back there at the start of my career. Great to see such a wonderful act, and great to see him again. So we must chat more soon.
Definitely.
Nigel. Okay, it's almost time for our second guest. Right after this, don't go anywhere. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Shane Thom. Hello, Shane. How are you?
Hi, Gary. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to chatting about all this sort of stuff because we're gonna find out about you very shortly indeed. But you've done some incredible things during lockdown. Tell us a little bit about you first of all, what you do, and then we'll move on to what you've done.
Normally, when we're not in the midst of a pandemic, I work as a stage manager in London. I'm based, very fortunately, at the National Theatre in London. So I work there on a full-time basis. So that's what I do. I work in theatre.
Yeah, amazing. Now, of course, such an important job being stage manager there, and normally throughout the year you'd be doing wonderful shows, and and then of course all this happened, and I think especially for the theatre industry, it was very hard hit, very I still kind of say very much forgotten. How was it for you when that sort of first hit?
It was kind of crushing, to be honest. We were very fortunate that unfortunate when it actually happened, but we were actually just about to open a brand new play, and then there was sort of rumors of this kind of thing going around. Nobody sort of knew what it was. Nobody had taken it seriously, and then all of a sudden Boris just announced back in March last year that no one should go to the theatre, that we had to close. And I literally did a dress rehearsal that afternoon and just had to walk out of the building. That was the end of it. And, we were left with nothing. There was no guidance, no warning of it was just going to be cutthroat, I think, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah,
It was
it did kind of creep in, didn't it, as well? Because I mean, myself and Ruth, we were talking about this time last year, the weekend just gone. We'd gone to see Back to the Future, which had just opened in Manchester, and we look at it and go, it was literally that started, and we were there, and then suddenly everything was shut, and it was literally overnight that it just sort of creeped in and shut everything down.
Yeah, it was. It really, and it's taken so many people by surprise, and it just vanished. The entire industry just was bereft, I guess, was the best way of describing it, wasn't it? It was just tragic, and I'm in a fortunate position of where I am, but there's so many friends and colleagues in the industry that just were left with absolutely nothing, and it's just been, just such a shame for everyone. It's just been a real tough time. So.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, the same here. So many people that we know that have just, didn't get any help. We were pretty much the same. Because we were trying our hardest to work and make things happen. We weren't viable for Arts Council grants because we were trying to do something as much as we could outdoors and them sort of things. But just kind of like everybody, just sort of left to fend for yourself and hope for the best. And it does kind of feel that way, that even now it's sort of like, when the announcements come, and maybe that's because we're in it, you sort of see them going, well, eventually the pubs will open, which is important, and eventually this will happen. And we're sitting there going, and the theatre and what we do. It's strange, isn't it? So you didn't just sit there, obviously, throughout this. I mean, literally, when I look at the timescale of how quickly you sort of, shall we say, got bored with lockdown and decided to do something. Tell us about what you did. I think it was April, wasn't it? It was literally a few weeks into it.
Yeah, it was, the start of April. So I think I'd given myself 2 weeks, and because when we were told to leave the theatre, and at that time it was like, oh, this will be 2 weeks, it'll be over, we'll be back to work, it'll be fine in 2 weeks. So I gave myself sort of that time frame, and after that it suddenly became very clear that wasn't going to be the case. And I can't just sit down and do nothing. I kind of need to be around people. I need to have a community of people around us. That's what theatre is so great about. And so I kind of started to think about how I could use my skills, use my kind of what I do to fill my time in lockdown. So I thought I'll set up an online music festival every week in lockdown, based originally in my local area, which is Crystal Palace in London. And I sort of just had this idea of how I could do it. I'd never done anything like this before. I've never streamed anything online. So I started to look at what some things were starting to, because it wasn't really a thing that anyone did in a high profile way. Now it feels like everyone's doing it, which is great. But back then when it first started, it was kind of a sort of a new idea. And I started looking around at what people could do. And I discovered, my family are in Scotland, and I discovered a sort of similar event to what I've set up. And I kind of started speaking to them and kind of took their premise of it. And I've sort of grown our Lockdown Live series, as we call it, Crystal Palace Lockdown Live. So it's every Saturday. Well, that was going to be a one-off on the 4th of April. I had no idea what it was going to be. I had no real connections in the music industry, or I had a few friends, performers and whatnot, and I just put a notice out on Facebook and said, anyone who wants to just come on, perform for 20 minutes, then they can. And I was absolutely inundated with requests.
Amazing.
And I think we had 25 performers on the first Saturday, and I was like, oh, this will be it. I'll do a one-off. It'll be something fun to look back on. And here we are. I'm still going. Still going now, with a brief pause when we came out of lockdown, but we're still going now. So.
Yeah, it's incredible. And, like you say, you initially started it just to be like a one-off. But I think embracing technology is something we've all done, but it's definitely a benefit that's come out of it. And of course, you've been raising money as well throughout the year. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, well, Crystal Palace Lockdown Live, it kind of set it up with the premise of connecting our community and sort of giving anyone who wanted to just a chance. We don't curate it in any way on weekends. We just invite anyone who wants to have a go. It's like an open mic night, I guess, but we do it over the day. And kind of to keep the community connected and to give something back, we kind of fundraise throughout the events. So most recently in Crystal Palace Park, there's an open air stage. It's called the Crystal Palace Bowl, and Bob Marley played back in the day, and various other big bands. And it's kind of been left over the years. It's gone a bit sort of kind of into ruin. So there was a fundraising campaign recently to build a new stage there in the centre of the park. So we kind of helped. We kind of promoted our weekend just gone to that. But we've also been raising for various hospices in the area. If anyone knows Crystal Palace Park, we've got the famous Crystal Palace dinosaurs that were sort of built back in the Victorian times for the Great Exhibition. They were going into a bit of a state of ruin, so we fundraised for them. So just anything local charity-wise or anything we can just give back to, people can just donate on whichever charity we feel like for the week. You know, we've done acting for others as well, being the theatre connection there as well. So it's just trying to bring people together and support what we've got around us at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look at it, because, you know, like we're saying, the sort of theatre community was almost left behind with everything, but in actual fact, with people like yourself that have done what you've done, you know, you're doing all these things and putting back to the community, which is amazing, you know. So hopefully when we get back to it, you know, this will be remembered when, you know, and they come back and support the theatre. It's an incredible
I
thing.
hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. I love it. Okay, we're gonna go and chat to Ruthie right now. Ruthie, over there.
Hello.
I've got you turned on tonight.
I know.
You're very bright tonight.
Do you know what? My mum said that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, you're glowing.
Yeah, she's
like
got her sunglasses on
like a
watching this.
moon. Yeah. I'm going to have to put more filters on your camera. It's getting ridiculous now. I've got the darkest filters. I mean, I've got dark filters on, you know.
I'm just very pale.
Mine are at 50%, and, you know, and I look, you know, filtered. But you are glowing. I don't know why. Maybe try moving back a bit. Oh, that's helping. Go back a bit further. Go out of the room.
Should I bring this with me?
Yeah. Look, we've got a stage manager here. You need to sort this. This is
yeah,
ridiculous.
we're looking bad.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It is, honestly, it's just my face.
Yeah,
it's
you do
moon face.
You're just glowing. It's
Big
fine.
moon.
Yeah. Well, how's social media this evening? Let's have a look.
Yeah, we've got lots of people popping in to say hi and you know, sort of support the theatre and all these nice positive things, which is lovely. But we've got lots of questions as well. So first of all, hi Shane, how are you?
Hi, I'm very well, Ruth.
We finally get to meet you, inverted commas. We've been chatting for about a week now or so. It's good. It's nice to finally meet you. Okay, so we want to know, well, first of all, you mentioned earlier about work, obviously being stage manager for National Theatre. We want to know, what's your favourite show you've worked on there, and why is that one your favourite?
Oh, that's a good question. There's so many. It's almost hard to choose these, isn't it? We always get asked that. Well, I was very fortunate recently. Well, I say recently, probably 3 or 4 years ago now. I did a production called Angels in America by Tony Kushner, which is it's a 2-part play. It's quite an epic play, quite tragic. It's set in the sort of 80s, round about the AIDS epidemic. So not a cheery number, and especially just now. But it was such an epic play. Each play is about 3.5, 4 hours long, and performing both in a day was kind of a full day epic.
Yeah.
But also the cast for that were incredible. We had some. It was a bit glitzy, but it was just such an epic production. Marianne Elliott, who directed it, who did War Horse and Company in the West End recently, Christmas at night time, was directed it. So it just was a huge production that had so much to it. There was people flying in it. There was big sets, lots of acting. So yeah, it was, for a stage manager, that's always the one you want. Lots going on, lots of things to go wrong to try and solve the problem with it.
That's what we like, problem solving. Like Ruth's big shiny face. Hello, Ruth.
Oh, it's shiny as well. I just thought it was blinding.
It's literally blinding.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but we'll sort it.
We'll worry about it later.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. Give us another question. I'll play with your camera settings.
Okay. Put me an animal filter on or something.
If I could, I would. Yeah. Okay.
Right. We want to know, how do you see your job as a stage manager being affected with online content? And then obviously when it goes back into being able to do live performances, do you think there's going to be any problems with social distance performances and things like that? How do you see it sort of affecting the industry as a whole?
Well, obviously, there's going to be lots of practicalities to work out, and it is going to alter how we work. Obviously, in between, just before we went back into this lockdown, I was stage managing a social distance pantomime, which unfortunately was cut short because of going back into this current lockdown, and because everyone had to be 2 meters distant on stage. So the set had to be designed around that. We had to manage the rehearsal process and keeping everyone safe as well. So our floor, you normally mark out on the floor a taped outline of the acting space for the cast. So on top of that, we had 2 meter grids. So the actors had sort of tram lines, if you like, of where they could move in and out of each other's space to be safe. And that, they got to know muscle memory on moving onto stage. But also, like, there's the prop management side of things as well, because obviously, anyone can just grab anything they like and pass it around the stage, but that we couldn't do that without it being cleaned on stage, or no one could touch the same props. So we were constantly having to look at the practicalities of everything like that. So that's going to be with us for quite a while going forward, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of online content, we're lucky that we can still reach audiences in that sense. I mean, there is nothing better than a live audience in the room. I was going to say Hamilton then, wasn't it? Rumor happened, but everyone just being in it together.
Yeah.
But I think if we can keep online content going as we need to, just to keep audiences' interest there, obviously there's not so much need for as many creative teams or stage management at that point, but we all sort of need to nurture each other to keep it going. And
yeah.
So I think we need to work with that and keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I've been asked this question a lot because we started obviously doing online content with what we were doing. Obviously, we needed to adapt. We've only got a very small theatre. I'm kind of and I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of almost think the two going forward in the future, it could work very well hand in hand. Especially with for instance, our seating capacity now is we're a 70-seat theatre. So a very small theatre, but to be able to offer, I think, an audience member the chance to come and to watch it live, which it is, as you say, it's the ultimate thing. It's what you want to do, but to offer that also as an online content, I think personally I'd use that. Do you know what I mean? So like if I'm thinking of going and watching a show in the West End, of course I want to do that because it's the experience. But also when I'm at home and can't get down there, if I knew that I could pay, a fee or whatever, and watch it online live, that would certainly be something I'd be interested in, myself, of going, well, tonight I can watch, Wicked or, whatever, and just, pay your ticket fee or whatever. So I think, with the way technology's moved very rapidly, it's kind of like, I definitely think there's something ahead where you kind of open it up to everybody. Do you know what I mean? How do you feel about that? Do you think there's a way forward with that?
I do. I sort of agree with you, and actually, I've been enjoying watching some stream performances during lockdown, and also when you work in theatre, you never get a night off, so you can never go to the theatre if you like that. So actually, there is a bonus of being able to catch up with productions that happen. And like you say, we're always theatre is always a growing industry, isn't it? We always want to introduce new audiences to it. So the more that people we can reach, I absolutely agree. I think it's, as long as we don't go too far, that we encourage people just to treat it like a cinema and don't come to the theatre.
Yeah.
But I think definitely getting out there and marrying the two is a great thing.
Yeah, well, I think you've touched on something that I've not even thought about, and that's reaching new audiences, especially when you look at, the younger generation. You still want them to come to the theatre, and of course they do, because there's nothing that beats sort of that live sat in it, and being, part of that immersive, experience. But at the same time, if you can then, on top of that, you want to fill an audience, if you can on top of that sell another, 1,000 tickets that are pay-per-view, I think that's certainly something that could help our industry, just moving into the future. I think it's definitely something to look at. Yeah.
Definitely. No, I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Definitely.
We love new technology. We just learned it very quickly. Ruth, I've sorted out your moon face.
Have you?
No, you're still quite bright, but I've put a tan on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just you're not glowing so much. But
Wonderful.
yeah, we'll maybe look at that. I don't know what happened. It just happened as we were going. Modern technology.
That's it. It's
But I
fine.
look great, so
Well, do you though? Do you?
I don't look like I'm radioactive. Okay, we've got time for one more, Ruthie. It's flown tonight. I can't believe it. Go
I know,
for
it's
it.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Beverly Charles has just touched on a point there, and it's something we've been saying for ages now with all this, additional technology and, people just getting more used to it and it becoming, a secondary thing now. By just saying that it simply makes it more accessible for everybody, which is true. If you can't get to a place or, you've got financial constraints or, there's members of your family that, don't necessarily work too well in social situations. I think it just sort of opens theatre up to a lot more people. So yeah, I agree with you both. I think it's good. It's a good thing to go. It's quite exciting actually to see what could happen in the future with stuff. First steps, isn't it? Baby steps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that wasn't a question. That was just an additional moon face thought.
It's good. We like your moon face.
Okay,
thought.
the last one is I've put the link in the chat for your for the Crystal Palace Lockdown Live. We've also got lots of performers that tune in and watch this. So if anybody wants to join in the Lockdown Live performances, as you said, it's sort of like an open mic kind of type event. So do they simply just get in touch with you via that page, via the Lockdown Live page? Is that the best way?
Yeah, or find me on Facebook and send me a message. Yeah, or drop a comment on the group of Lockdown Live, and we'll get in touch.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ross Gunnings just popped up last minute. Hi Ross, hope your weekend went well. He did a fabulous charity event, sort of online as well, which they normally do up in Glasgow, isn't it? In Glasgow. He's put, and this is quite an interesting one to look at. Would you think you'd have to stage or light a show differently for online if you were doing it live as well?
Always pointing out my big moon face.
Well, yeah,
That's what it is. That's where it's come from.
But it's an interesting thought, isn't
Yeah.
it? Do you think as a stage manager, do you think you can... I think we already have. I think we've almost kind of, sort of adapted to going, well, you're doing it live, What do you think about it? Do you think it requires a lot more thought or...?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that obviously you have to adjust some things and the setup is slightly different levels and things need to be adjusted. But I think it's kind of, it feels like even without the pandemic and us being forced to do it online, I think there is starting to be a lot more of that happening.
Yeah.
So I think there's certainly a structure in place for that now, and people are starting to be more aware of it, and technical roles especially are adapting more to it. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not the most technical minded, but certainly I know a lot of people who can cross those quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at where how we've had to adapt in the past year with everything, we're almost there with it anyway. We are doing live streaming events and and sort of working that. So I don't think it's too big a step to go, well, actually you can watch it live and perform it live. So it's interesting. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining us. A wonderful insight into your life, and we've popped the charity in the page as well. So we'll make sure we push that for you. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Shane Thom. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care,
Bye.
Bye.
Something magical is coming this Easter. Live on Stage to Stream, a brand new online panto, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Join Dorothy Gale, the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow in a brand new online magical adventure. Live this Easter at www.stagetostream.tv. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, live online this Easter For more information, visit our website at www.stagetostream.tv. Ooh, very nice indeed, yes. You're watching stagetostream.tv live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. Hope you're enjoying the show this evening. What a wonderful chat tonight. I've really enjoyed that. Ruthie, are you over there?
Hello,
there
yes.
She is. Hello.
Hi.
I've sorted out your moon face. I don't know what was going on. It was weird, but we've
I
got
just
it sorted
shine
out.
bright.
You do. You're like a shining star in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Showing us the way home.
Yeah.
Good. Interesting that tonight, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that. It was nice to chat about that side of it, the tech side, and the sort of interesting.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? And I think touching on that point again about the live stream, would you have to sort of light it differently if you were live streaming it and things like that? I think it's one of those things, isn't it? Because you can go two ways with things, and I think that's sort of been quite apparent with content that has been streamed online. Like, for example, there's lots of companies out there that have just been sort of, obviously trying to get a little bit of money to top up whatever, obviously everybody needs money, but, sort of reselling on like previous performances where it's been sort of filmed at the back of the theatre just with an entire overview, and then somebody gets up in the middle of it and walks off. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
It's not the best. But I think there's a difference, isn't there? So,
Rubbish.
I mean, if you've got an entire overview of the stage, it's one of those things that when you're watching it live, you pick the narrative. So although you've got your main characters and obviously your lighting will pick up on those main characters and say, effectively, watch this bit because it's the important bit. It's still your choice whether you decide to look over there because something's drawn your attention and has pulled your focus. But when you're watching something that is a TV show or filmed for TV, the narrative is decided for you. So it's, do you know what I mean? It's framed differently, it's boxed differently.
Yeah,
so
but
I think
that's the joy of going to a theatre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that you choose what to watch. But I think when you look at what they did with Parking Lot Social, when you had 3 cameras, somebody filming live on your 2 sides, you yes, it is kind of decided for you, but also they know the point of what to watch. So,
oh no, definitely. But what I'm saying is that I think there's certainly going to be a difference between being able to stream things where it's an overview or whether it's almost directed as a different production behind those cameras. So I think certainly the evolution of that's certainly going to be quite interesting.
No, I agree. I think it's definitely the way forward. And but if if you were selling another, on a West End production, if you were selling another 1,000 tickets a night, it would be worth having, things being filmed and it being directed in a way that you could do both. So, yeah absolutely. Have you got a final thought for this evening, Ruthie? It's time for us to go.
It's time to go?
I know.
Oh, okay.
Final thought?
Or should we tell... Wait. Should we tell who's coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, let's do that. So tomorrow, we've got 2 fabulous guests. We've got the full Monty Jester. I had to put Jester on the end because it's... Last time I said it, you thought I meant... the full Monty. It's not.
Either way.
The Fool, Fool, like a jester, juggler.
Full Monty.
Yeah.
Okay,
Full Monty. He's great. He's going to be on tomorrow. And also Bonnie Banks.
Nice.
As Bonnie Banks is a lovely friend of ours. Worked with us a little bit at Christmas. Fabulous drag queen. He's going to be here talking all things TikTok drag race-ish kind of stuff. It's
amazing.
Great. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's been very good.
Nice. And we're also going to be announcing a very special guest. I might announce it tomorrow. Just if you're out there watching, come back tomorrow because very, very exciting guest on the 2nd of March is now booked in, and it is incredible. Yes. So do listen out for that. We'll probably announce it tomorrow, I think. Yes. Have you got a final thought, Ruthie?
Yeah.
Go on.
If you're in a vehicle and you're travelling at the speed of light, what happens when you turn your headlights on?
It's another interesting fact and more tomorrow. Say goodnight, Ruthie.
Good night, Ruthie.
See you tomorrow. I'm going to sort out your moon face.
Thank you.
I'll do your makeup tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's happening. Hope you enjoyed yourself tonight. Whatever you're doing, have a safe evening. And until we can get back in the theatre, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Good night.